Hey there, everybody. Tom Funk coming to you from the United Arab Emirates, and this is my Abu Dhabi adventure. Thanks for joining me, and would you believe I've been here for almost a year? Yes, it is true. And the past month felt like I've lived here a year and 30 days. So let's get you caught up. It's been a while. I think a little bit more than a month since we last checked in. And I had just recovered from COVID. And thankfully I have no lingering effects. And since then, the government has progressively lifted its COVID restrictions here in Abu Dhabi. At the time I got COVID, I was only required to quarantine for 5 days, where if I would have contracted it a few days before, it could have been as long as 10 days. And of course, when I first arrived, you may recall I had a close contact, and just being next to someone with a positive COVID case caused me to be stuck in a hotel room for 10 days. Now that 99% of the United Arab Emirates is fully vaccinated, yes, you heard that right, 99%, and we still have cases, but only in the hundreds and rarely a death, the government dropped the mask requirement, but still required us to get tested monthly. Well, that lasted about a month, and I think it's because we're on the verge of the Formula One race. It was probably realized that since most of the rest of the world wasn't PCR testing, requiring PCR tests, and proving vaccinations to get into malls and attractions, well, they probably figured it wasn't worth the hassle anymore. And frankly, I'm sure people would forego coming to Abu Dhabi because of this requirement. There are already people saying from the other Emirates they weren't coming down here to Abu Dhabi because they didn't want to do the hassle of the PCR testing and the showing of the Al Hassan app and all that. So about 2 weeks ago, most of the requirements were dropped. The only two left that I'm aware of is you must wear a mask at a medical care facility, which you should do anyway. And if you do get COVID, you quarantine for 5 days, which you should do anyway. So since COVID, I have since caught a nasty rotavirus that lasted a week and caused an amount of fatigue that took me about a week more to overcome. And apparently it had run through a whole bunch of other people where I work as well. Oh, on top of that, I have a rotator cuff injury that is going to require surgery. And I'm currently wearing a brace, sling I guess, that immobilizes my left arm so I don't move my shoulder, because when I move my shoulder in certain ways, it is quite painful. So I've been MRI'd, and they found 2 tears at the top of my humerus. And I would like to point out yet again how incredibly efficient and easy the medical care system is here. I saw my doctor, the specialist, the anesthesiologist, and surgeon all within an hour's time, and my own personal escort to help me get between their offices. Therefore, I went from diagnosis to scheduling a surgery within an hour's time. And I have to ask myself, how long would that have taken in the States? No wonder the United Arab Emirates is known for its medical tourism. So I'm having a bit of pain, and I'll have my surgery when I come back from vacation in January. Speaking of which, Nathaniel and I have taken a couple weekend jaunts to different parts of the United Arab Emirates. We spent a couple of days exploring Al Ain, which is to the east along the border with Oman. Al Ain is a desert oasis where they have tapped into the underlying aquifer for their water. Al Ain has been inhabited for thousands of years and has been used as a desert stopover by travelers and merchants for centuries. Nate and I went to the Al Ain Zoo, which you may recall I visited a couple of times when I first arrived. Al Ain Zoo has been around since 1968 and was founded by the father of the country, Sheikh Zayed, and he established the zoo in order to help save the Arabian oryx, which at the time was on the verge of extinction. And so this zoo was an integral part of its restoration and reintroduction and you can see them in the wild once again. So he was a true visionary, Sheikh Zayed, that is. Think about it. He established the zoo before there was even an Earth Day, before there was even an Endangered Species Act, before UAE was even a country. And although the zoo is over 50 years old, it looks almost brand new now when you walk around. So if you ever come, we're going to go out to the Al Ain Zoo. So they're also involved in other conservation programs like Arabian leopards, dugongs, and green turtle conservation. Nate and I took the safari ride, but unlike last time when I rode in an open Range Rover, we were in a large truck in an enclosed and air-conditioned cab. My recommendation is to take the open top Range Rover as you have a better view and better interactions with the wildlife, especially the giraffe when you get to feed them. Plus, we also shared the vehicle with a large family with many small children that knew no boundaries nor manners, and we spent a lot of our time dodging them as they ran up and down the aisle. So after our zoo visit, we seeked out some of the castles, towers, and fortresses in the area. And since water and transportation routes are precious in this region, and they have been so for centuries, lookouts and fortresses were built to protect these water sources and also the travelers coming into the area. Most of the remaining structures are being restored, and if they haven't been already, they also date mostly the 19th and 20th century. There are some older ones. Heck, they just found a monastery on an island out in the Arabian Gulf that dates, I think, to the 6th century, so before Islam. So that's pretty cool. So they're here, and we are on a quest to see as many as we can as we travel. So I did shoot some video, and I shot some photos. If they're not already on the Facebook page, they will be there soon. So check those out. They're pretty cool. And so, yeah, we're now on this quest when we go traveling to find these towers, castles, and fortresses. So the next day, we went to the Green Planet in Dubai, which is an indoor rainforest. It's basically a building that has a very large but fake 4-story tall rainforest tree, and it has a spiraling staircase that goes around the perimeter of the building. So you take the elevator to the top, and you work your way down. It's humid, it's very green, there's lots of critters, mostly birds flitting about. We even found a couple of fruit bats sleeping. So it was pretty cool. It's worth the time to go there and check that out. A lot of kids there as well, families. Another trip was to Sharjah, which is the emirate just north of Dubai. And Sharjah is the original port for the area, and for millennia merchants have been using it and still do today. Now, of course, Dubai is now the main port, and they can accommodate the largest ocean-going vessels, but Sharjah is still used as a port. So I scored some cheap rooms on Hotels.com at what I'd call a historic hotel, the Compton, only because even though it's a 4-star hotel, it's showing its age, but, you know, for $25 USD a night, and it was on the Corniche, and the food was very good. And usually you get to pay for the food extra, but it came with the price. I mean, come on. I am not complaining. It was a decent stay. So the first morning, I got up for a walk bright and early, and just before sunrise, and I wanted to walk to Corniche in hopes to see some, decent birds out in the water. And to my surprise, there were already hundreds of people walking, jogging, exercising, and even doing yoga along the Corniche. So I walked the path to a park and looped it back. And by 7:30 in the morning, everybody was gone. So they get out when it's nice and cool, they do their thing, and then away they go. And, of course, at night is when the Corniche is very busy, when it cools off. So one of the things we did while we were there is we went to the Sharjah Book Fair, which is the largest international book trade show in the world. You wouldn't think that, but it is. 2 million plus people attended this thing. And the convention center was just massive. Now, I went to the Abu Dhabi Book Fair about 6 months ago, and I thought that was big. Heck, I think you could fit at least 10, maybe 20 Abu Dhabis into this Sharjah Convention Center. It was just massive. And I only bought 3 books while I was there. So that was pretty cool. Like to go to that one again. So the book fairs are pretty popular here because this is a culture that has a lot of oral tradition. So books really weren't a thing up until recently. So I guess you could say they're kind of playing catch up. They're getting all these vendors and all these books into the country so people can buy them, bring them home, and get the kids especially into reading. So this weekend is Formula One weekend, and that's the first weekend I arrived last year, which was first week of December. Well, this year it's moved up a little bit. So the island right now is packed with people and cars. There's cops at every intersection controlling traffic. There was an Usher concert the other night, and Def Leppard is on Sunday night, so at night the traffic is just crazy. Oh yeah, and there's supposed to be a Formula One race as well. So we live right next door to the track, and I'll be able to hear it, but not see it. And as a bonus, maybe you can hear in the background, there's, well, I think that's the airport. There's an is it the air show? No, it's just an airplane, Nathaniel says. Nathaniel reports it's just an airplane coming in for a landing. But there was an air show yesterday. Rumor is there's going to be some air shows today. So hopefully I can get some video of that and post it for you all. And, of course, there's going to be some fireworks as well. I think there's like 500,000 people that come to this thing, so it's pretty crazy down here. So we're just going to hide out in the apartment and clean for the weekend, I guess. Maybe listen to some podcast music, that kind of thing, read. Hey, I got a question. Hey, Tom, do you miss the seasons? Well, simple answer is yes, I do. The more complicated answer, I don't miss the sudden changes of weather. Like I heard you guys went from like 75 degrees to a foot of snow like in a couple days. And I don't miss the cold and snow. You guys, it's 75 degrees here right now, and the sun is shining. It's beautiful. I'm getting used to this weather. So there you go. I do miss the seasons. I am coming home to experience the winter a little bit, so we'll see how that goes. So if you have a question, please send it along through one of my various channels. So a new development here is that I live in a brand new apartment complex, and there's like this commercial district, and there's a little grocery store there right now, and there is a salon that opened up. So what just happened, I didn't even realize this was going in, is there's a bar, an Irish bar that opened up with beer on tap. Rumor is they even have Guinness. So I haven't been there yet, but you know I'm sure I'll get down there. There's also a new grocery store at the mall that sells pork products. So I have about 4 pounds of bacon in my freezer. And since Pop-Tarts are made from gelatin from pigs, I bought some of those as well. And I have a drugstore now, and soon there's going to be a beer and wine store opening up here at the apartment complex. So this will save on bus and taxi rides because I have to go downtown for my prescriptions and all these other things. And soon they'll all be within walking distance, which is really nice. And I still don't have a car. I still don't plan on getting one. I've been using the bus and taxis to get around. And on these trips, it's cheap to rent a car, and so we've been renting a car on these little jaunts. Finally, our tickets are purchased, and Nate and I will be home December 30th with a side trip to Texas to visit his grandparents. And I haven't set anything up, but I plan on being in Battle Creek at least a day, Grand Rapids another, and I'm hoping to have a reason to go to Kalamazoo. So keep your eye on my personal Facebook page for when I'm out and about. I just may post something and say, hey, I'm going to be in Battle Creek today. This is where I'm going to be. So if you want to visit, come and find me, or something to that effect. All right. Hey, I hear bumper music. Thanks again to my friend Adam Main for the use of his music. And he is part of the Grace Thiessen Project. Follow them on Facebook. I am going to try really hard to see him live when I am home. So, hey, Adam, if you're listening, I'm going to try. So, haven't seen him in a while. And hopefully I'll be able to see him. So again, follow my shenanigans on social media, Facebook, Tom Funk's Worldly Adventures. I'm also on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Yes, you heard that right. I am on TikTok. That's at Tom's Worldly Adventures. I'm on LinkedIn and Goodreads as Thomas Funk. And please subscribe to these various channels so you can get updates. So maybe I'll do a podcast right before we leave. I'll see about that. We do have our National Day coming up, which is Independence Day for the United Arab Emirates, which is the first weekend in December. A lot of people just get the heck out of Dodge. We just may rent a car and go exploring. And maybe I'll share some photos. Check out the web pages. I've been sick and miserable for the past month. I'm way behind on getting videos and photos uploaded. I'm going to really try hard this weekend to get that done. So, keep your eyes open for that. And Thanksgiving is coming up. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I am taking Friday off because I'm going to try to connect with family back home. So, that's going to be kind of an adventure for me as well. All right, thanks again, everybody. Tom Funk's Abu Dhabi Adventure. Please subscribe. And hopefully we'll see you maybe in a couple weeks. Thanks for joining. Take care. Peace out.